and speaking of social media, I think that in talking about that, we have to also be careful and not getting caught up in the hype. I don't know if you guys heard about that story that took place in Chicago. We're going to go to a clip here in a second that puts everything in perspective, but about that young boy, that 9-year-old boy, Tyshawn Lee, that got shot, and they think it was gang-related. And and a lot of people, the parents were just kind of, I really questioned them. Like, I think a lot of that came from their irresponsibility and how they lived their life. But a lot of people got caught up in the hype and started donating. And you have to be careful when you donate to certain causes. Like, I guess they had, like, a GoFundMe account, and I guess they have donated over $30,000 to Tyshawn's mother. And instead of her paying her child, paying for her child's burial, what does she do? She takes the money and buys herself a brand new car. And then she gets on social media.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just wondered why the process was still there. I did read, I saw that whole situation taking place, but it was interesting you just brought that up because I just had this conversation with a friend of mine. She was saying, do you think the mother was wrong for buying a car? And I was saying, well, you have to look at it from two perspectives. Number one, this woman just lost her son. That should be her main focus. But when I saw her interview about why she bought the car, it changed my whole mind because I was like, yeah, who would think about buying a car at a time like that? But when she had, spoke about it, it made more sense. She basically was stating that with that situation, she went ahead and bought the car because she said her son's funeral arrangements were already taken care of as far as expenses. And she said, look at the situation now. They're still living in Chicago, which is a dangerous area right now. And she was like, they were walking. So, if there's extra money and she purchased a car for her and the rest of her children who are still living to, be mobile and get to and from, I don't think that was a bad thing. I think the media sort of took it and ran with it.
Well, this is what I heard, and we're going to go to the clip here in a minute. From what they were saying, because the father, he got online and did a GoFundMe page, too, because he claimed that she did not pay funeral arrangements. And then for you to get online and and they said this woman, just her history on social media and how she got all these videos online of her going in and cussing and acting a fool online, and then you want to get online and cuss out the people and go in on the people that donated to you. And that goes to, cause that's I see a lot of that, like people taking these donations online for specific reasons, and then you spend the money on the way you want to. No, it doesn't work like that. If someone's donating to a specific cause, then that's what that money should go to. But that's just my opinion. And then for you to get online and then want to cuss people out and go in on people, that's not cool. But what you need to do is take that money, instead of staying up in Chicago, you need to be trying to move up out of Chicago. Instead of staying around in that same neighborhood, around them same bum-ass people that got your child killed, you need to take that money and do something else more constructive with it. But that's just my opinion. You see what I'm saying?
I said the same thing. I agree with that.
Yeah. But I just want to go to this clip real quick because this is going to break down what actually happened. And then when we come back, I want to get your guys' opinion about just the whole situation, because I really think right now, I was talking to a lady I work with at work, and she was just telling me right now in Chicago, because she's from Gary, and she's familiar, she has family in Chicago and stuff like that. She was saying, like, right now, it's just a lot of demonic stuff going on in Chicago. Like, it's like a huge gang war right now, and they're urging people, if you go to Chicago, to exercise caution, because there is a lot of stuff that's going on up there right now. And we're just going to go to this clip real quick, and then I'm going to come back, and then we're going to discuss it some more.
Monday afternoon at about 4:30, right behind us in this tea alley, Tyshawn Lee was murdered in probably the most abhorrent, cowardly, unfathomable crime that I've witnessed in 35 years of policing. And I want to be clear that at this point, we believe that Tyshawn was targeted, lured to this spot, and murdered. And we believe that this is the most recent in a series of gang-related violent events that may go back as far as August, may go back a little further than that.
What happened to Tyshawn Lee took us to a new low. This wasn't a drive-by. This was not a spray of bullets. A baby was executed. A baby was assassinated right behind us in this alley. This has grieved hearts and touched hearts across America, as it should. But it's got to do more than touch us, because we have gone to a new low that's removed what used to be some codes, some barriers, some lines that used to be drawn in the community, some things in the city that was not acceptable. It's given an okay to cowards. Now we're going to target family members, we're going to target mothers, we're going to target grandmothers, we're going to target babies. An execution of a baby took place on our watch in the city of Chicago. We must now put the code back. We've got to draw the line back. We've got to put the barriers back, saying this here is not going to be tolerated. It's not going to be tolerated in the city of Chicago as long as we're still citizens in Chicago. We're needing people to turn in this coward. As the superintendent mentioned, I've gotten a lot of calls, and the police have gotten a lot of calls. A lot of information has come in from the community, and we're grateful for that. But we need someone to take the next step. We need now someone to come forward now and say, you know what, my conscience will not allow me to be quiet while a baby was executed in this city. Take the next step.
All right, we're back. I believe that was, I don't know if that was police chief that was talking, but I just wanted to play that clip. You know, it's really sad. Like, we live in a society now where people have no value of life, and it goes to show you have to be careful how you live your life, because you never know how that stuff's gonna fall back on yourself or the people around you that you care about. And it's just like you said, it's just an all-time low. We're getting to a point in society where even the young, innocent children are not safe from violence of this nature. You know what I'm saying? So I just pray for the family. I just pray for that community. You know, and just I really pray for the kids or the youth that live in that environment, because you know. I just, you know, especially his friends and stuff like that. I mean, it's just how do you deal with that at that age, knowing that someone around your age, or a friend, or whoever, or your brother, sister, or whoever that you've seen every day, and that you went to school with, and that you played with, and chilled with, and everything else, was just shot down like that. You know, that's a lot for any young person, let alone an adult, you know, to deal with. So, you know, it's so much going on, you know, even here in Indianapolis. And we're going to try to get to that story next about that pastor that lost his wife, his pregnant wife, which she was killed in her own home. And it was like I guess it was a burglary gone wrong. But it's just like, man, you really have to be prayed up, and you just have to learn how to, I don't know, it's just a lot going on. We have another caller online. I'm going to go and let them say, you know, give their comment. Caller 317-225, do you have a comment or question, or are you listening at this point?
Actually, I just called in. It's Dustin from where you work at.
Oh, okay, I got you. We're just right now we're just talking about a lot of stuff, current events. Right now, we're going to talk about France in the second hour, but we're just talking about the young boy that was senselessly gunned down, in Chicago, and it's just to me, I think it's really sad we're living in a day and time where life is not valued, and you know, anytime we get to a point where we're killing innocent kids just to get back at someone else, I really think it's it really shows the times that we're living in. You know, so
I mean, life isn't valued these days amongst almost all spectrums. I mean, look at music, look at movies, look at socially, look at, you know, even people don't even shake no more at abortions for any reason at all. They don't shake when you sit there and you watch movies where, you know, half the people are killed in it. We've gotten to this point in society where you're right, life doesn't matter. Well, at least that's what people think,
right.
You know. I think a lot of people,
right.
I honestly think a lot of people think it's like, almost like video games where if they die, they'll get like a second or third life, you know. They don't realize that this is it.
Right. And I think that's really unfortunate. Michael C., you've been kind of quiet. So you have anything to say about this particular situation, or like did you hear about this story in the news? C.
Sorry. Yes, I did. And it is so unfortunate that this child had to lose his life over the senseless behavior of the adults. And what is so inhumane to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if this is the same story where they interviewed the father, and the father was just like he had no remorse, and he had no sorrow for what was done to his son. And
he didn't even want to cooperate with the police.
No, not at all. And it was almost like, okay, he was saying, well, and it was almost like him saying, okay, my child was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And that's a damn shame. Excuse my language, but it really is. And anytime you get caught up in mess like that and you want to willingly sacrifice your child just to save yourself, then you need the harshest punishment that there is. Because his child did not ask to, you know, be here, and his child was just walking minding his own business. And I'm not going to say that the child was in the wrong place at the wrong time, because the child, like, I don't know what the child was doing, but I'm not going to say he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, but I'm saying that these people done what they wanted to heal because they wanted to get back at the family, especially at the father. But the father needs to pay, and he needs to be ashamed of himself. Point blank. Yeah. He really does.
Well, one of the things that gets me is that I'm not surprised that that's the attitude the dad's carrying. I'm not surprised at all. Because if this is a gang revenge killing, that means he's tied in with it.
Yeah.
That means he's part of that culture. He is part of that mindset. He is part of that. So his attitude towards it like that, it's actually sad to say, but it doesn't surprise me.